censor my comments? I'd rather not have it online, but whatever. I don't really care. All right. What? It is live? We are live. Okay. Gavaldi. All right. Shkoyach. I feel like a rock star. Okay. All right. Nice to see everybody. Nice. Nah, I don't care. Nice to see everybody. It's all good stuff. So nothing in life happens by chance. So this morning, I think Zach heard this already in shul, but or at the end of shul. So we'll see if this could connect somehow to what I'm about to say. But it's just a good story anyway. You're supposed to start just to get people focused, right? With a little bit of a key to start with a joke. So we'll start with a quick story. But so my car has a little bit of trouble. Baruch Hashem, my Honda Pilot. So I had to take it to the dealer. Very exciting. So I called on Friday, and I got an appointment at 7 o'clock. Okay? Honda Valley Stream. Okay? Very exciting. So I figure I'll get there at 7. Perfect. I'm going to throw my bike. It's 2 miles from my house. I'll throw my bike in the back of my Pilot. Gavaldik. Right? Beautiful. I don't have to bother my wife. She's got to get the kids off to school. I'm not going to be matriach anybody to pick me up. I'll bike 2 miles back to my house. What's the big deal? It's great, right? It'll be good. Get things going a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So I get there at 7:03. I'm very pumped up. And I only see a showroom. I don't see a service department. I'm starting to bug out a little bit. So I call up. And they say, oh, no, our service department actually merged with South Shore Honda. I said, okay, where's that? They said, oh, it's in Merrick. I said, oh, okay. So I quickly put it in Waze. It's like 2.5 miles past there. So I get there 7:30, 7:20, I get there. And I'm finished all the paperwork, and I got to be back at Yeshiva. 7:50, right, for davening. So I jump on my bike around 7:31. 7:31, I get out of there. I put on Waze to get home. I don't even know how to get home. I put on Waze. And it tells me it's like 4.5 miles. So Baruch Hashem, my legs are like jelly over here because I had the big schliss to go ahead and to bike 4.5 miles this morning. I made it home just in time, 7:50. I got there, perfect, and I was able to be here at 7:53, nice and sweaty. It was very exciting. Perhaps we'll get back to this a little bit later. We'll see. Maybe this connects a little bit to the Dvar Torah that I'm going to share with you guys. It's all about actions. Right? All right, so we are about to experience Yetzias Mitzrayim. So the truth is, if you look in the Chumash, so the Torah describes how we left, and the way the Torah describes us as a people is very, very, very interesting. The Torah uses a very, very strange word. In the beginning of Parshas Bo, when the Torah talks about Bnei Yisrael leaving Mitzrayim, so the beginning of Parshas B'Shalach, Vahi b'Shalach Paro es ha'am. So Paro sends us out. He sends us out of Mitzrayim, and the pasuk goes on and it says, "V'chamushim olu v'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim." Chamushim olu b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim. The Bnei Yisrael went up chamushim. It's a very interesting word. Chamushim. What do you think chamushim means? Chamushim. What does chamushim sound like? Don't be scared, yeah. What do you say? 5. Okay, good. Chamesh. Excellent. We'll get to that in a second. Chamushim. Is that what you're going to say? Oh, yeah. Chamushim. You hear me? You heard the word? You remember the word from laning? Chamushim alu b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim. So Rashi says tu pshatim. Rashi says as follows. You ready? Chamushim. Ein chamushim ela mizuyonim. You know what chamushim means? You know what it means, Zach? It means armed. Armed. With armor. Right? They left with weapons, with spears, chariots, with swords, bows and arrows, whatever they had back then. Good, chamushim. They left mizuyonin. They left armed. That's one shot. Chamushim. Oh, I'm not going to read the second shot because it's very long in Rashi, but it's very, very famous. And this now has to do with what you said before. Chamushim, from the word chamesh, 5th, 1/5 left. 1/5 left of the Jewish people. 4/5. 4 out of every 5 Jews, unfortunately, didn't make it out. Didn't make it out of Egypt. Why? What happened to them? No? What happened to them? Why'd they die? What? Oh, by Choshech, right? That's why Rashi tells us as well, right? That Choshech was very, very intense. It was you couldn't see. Part of Choshech, you were catatonic. You couldn't even move. But what was the whole idea? The idea was that unfortunately so many of the Jewish people were non-believers. They didn't believe that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was going to take us out of Egypt, and they were killed. They were killed, unfortunately, during Choshech. So, lest the Mitzrayim see that, look, we're suffering in Choshech, and look, the Jews are suffering too. Look, they're dying as well. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu made it that the Egyptians couldn't see, and we took care of burying the dead. We took care of getting rid of the evidence, the 4/5, right? And that's what it means. Chamushim, only a fifth. Chamushim, Alu b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim, only a fifth went ahead and left Mitzrayim. Okay, so we have two very different pshatim. One is mizuyonim, right? Beer means they were what? They were armed. That's the first pshat Rashi says. The second pshat Rashi says is no, only a fifth left Mitzrayim. Okay, very exciting. Okay, so we have two very different pshatim, but it doesn't stop there. So there's a sefer here, a sefer called the Ber Yosef, from Rabbi Yosef Misalant. So this is one of my father's favorite svarim. One of his favorite svarim. My father always likes to say, it's worth it to buy the set just for this piece. Just for this piece. So I've heard this idea from my father, and since then I've seen it many times inside. Such a beautiful orchestra, as you'll see in a second. It's like a symphony. He puts together so many different pshatim right now, and he combines them all into one pshat. So aside from the two pshatim in Rashi, again, one means that they were what? Armed. Second pshat is that they left. Only a fifth left, right? 4/5 died during Choshech. So the Ber Yosef here quotes the Targum Yonasan ben Uziel. You ready for this one? Messed up. Here we go. Targum Yonasan ben Uziel says, "V'chol chad im chamisha tafla sliku b'nei Yisrael me'arad Mitzrayim." Unbelievable. Says the Targum Yonasan ben Uziel. You know what it means? Chamushim. Chamushim. Each family left with 5 children. Why is that problematic? Each family left with 5 children. Why is that problematic? Come on. Oh, Gavaldik. Why is it problematic? Because we know, since we're in preschool, how many kids did they have at a time? 6. Right? 6 is the magic number. Chamushim says the Targum Yonasan ben Uziel. What does it mean? It means they left with 5 children. What do you mean 5 children? They left with 6. Everyone had 6 children. 6 at a time. So what does it mean? Chamushim says the Targum Yonasan ben Uziel. It means that each one left with 5 kids. Okay, so now we have 3 pshatim. Mizuyonim, they were armed. Pshat number 2 means what? A fifth, right? Only a fifth left. Now we have a third pshat. What's the third pshat? That they left with 5 kids, which we said is very much problematic because we know they had 6, not 5. Oh, and then finally he quotes the Targum Yerushalmi. And what's the Targum Yerushalmi? The Targum Yerushalmi says, Mizainin, they were armed, it's true, like that first pshat in Rashi, but very different than Rashi. We said Rashi was talking about spears and bullets and bows and arrows and rocks and whatever they had back then. Good? Says the Targum Yerushalmi, Mizainin, no, they were armed, but you know what they were armed with? Be'uvda tava. They were armed with maisim tovim. They were armed with good deeds. That's also a little bit problematic. Why is that problematic? And that's what he says. Mizayin be'uvda tava sliku b'nei Yisrael prikin me'arad Mitzrayim. They left armed with maisim tovim when they left Mitzrayim. So why is that problematic? So first of all, we say in the Haggadah, va'at erom ve'eryah, which means literally we were naked. What does that mean? We were naked. We were naked from mitzvos. In other words, we had nothing. We were empty. We were literally on empty. Also, let's go back to preschool for a second. What level of tumah were we on when we left Mitzrayim? What level? 49th level of tumah, right? That's why many say, Ani v'lo malach, Ani v'lo saraf, right? Ani Hashem v'lo acher. Why Dafka Hashem had to come in and take us out? Because even the angels couldn't handle the contamination and the impurity and the tumah of Mitzrayim. Only the Ribono Shalom. Perhaps we'll offer another suggestion maybe a little bit later why Dafka Kadosh Baruch Hu. We'll see. But on a simple pshat, right? It's a nice vart that we always had in our back pockets from preschool and first grade and second grade. Why Hashem and not a malach? Hashem sends malachim all the time. Hashem sends a malach to deal with Bilam. Hashem sends a malach right by the Akedah. Hashem couldn't have sent the malach to take us out of Mitzrayim. So what's the answer? The answer is that Bnei Yisrael were on the lowest of levels, right? They were literally in a horrible, horrible spiritual state. That had we stayed there, Chazal tell us one more second, we would have been completely annihilated, completely destroyed, right? Yet, the Targum Yerushalmi says we were armed with maisim tovim. It's very strange. We had no mitzvahs, right? Very, very strange. So again, we have 4 pshatim now, which is also very, very strange. To have one word, it's a strange word, chamushim. Bnei Yisrael left chamushim. It's a strange word to begin with. Not only is it a strange word, but we have 4 different pshatim now. Would have been good if it was 5, right? Chamushim from chamesh. Okay, but we have four different pshatim right now as to how to understand the word chamushim. Number 1, again, it means armed. Number 2, it means literally armed. Number 2 means a fifth. Number 3, it means with 5 what? 5 kids, which we said is problematic because they had 6. And then finally, the last pshat is that they were armed with maisim tovim. What is pshat? You hear? It's good kasha? What's going on over here? So very, very strange. So the Ber Yosef, Rav Yosef Misalant, you should know his writings. So he lived, unfortunately, at the time of the Shoah. His writings he wrote down during the war, before and during, I believe. And his writings were put into like a capsule. And he dug a hole somewhere, wherever it was. And they came back and they were able to find his writings after the war. It's very, 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 very powerful, very, very beautiful sefer, very, very powerful. So like I said, it's one of my father's favorites, and as a result, it's been the Masorah has been given over to us. So here we go. So what's pshat over here? So says the Ber Yosef, beautifully, if you go back to Rashi, to the second pshat in Rashi, you ready? That 4/5 were killed during Makas Choshech. You can now begin to understand everything. Begin to understand this whole puzzle. He says so beautiful like this. He says, who died? Who died during Choshech? Who died? The Rishayim. Shkayach. What does that mean, the Rishayim? It means those adults, those Jewish adults between the ages, let's say, of 20 and 60, right, who are bar onshin, right, the adults who are punishable, right, they're accountable for their averos, so they're the ones that were killed. But obviously they're children. They were non-believers. Right? Okay, good. So they had to be killed. What about their children? What happened to their children? They stayed back. They became a Mitzri. They got assimilated into the Mitzri culture. Says the Ber Yosef so beautifully, it's true that 4/5 died, and only a 5th survived, and only a 5th left. So the 4/5 that died, they died. But what happened to their kids? So he says, Klal Yisrael, the remaining 5th that remained, the remaining 5th of Klal Yisrael took in the orphans, took in these children to go ahead and make sure that they had a place, to make sure that they had a home, to make sure they had somewhere to go. And he explains that's what it means that they all had 5 children. It's not talking about how many kids they had at once. That's not what it's talking about. It means 5 children because each family took 4 sets of children with them plus their own kids, right? 4 sets of children plus their own children, which means they left with 5 children. It means 5 sets of children. It means their own kids plus 4 other families worth. Can you imagine? You hear this? Unbelievable, chesed, that they took with them when they left to go to Mitzrayim. Now I want to tell you, just on the side, Mitzvah Hashem, it's not so far away from you guys, right? So this past Shabbos Agadol, we're going to be in Eretz Yisrael for Pesach. So my father's a big Rav in New Jersey, so it's a big schus for us to go there for Shabbos, any Shabbos. This past Shabbos is Shabbos Agadol. He gives a big drasha, so we went. So we got all the kids in the car, Baruch Hashem, the same car that's in the shop this morning. We got all the kids in the car, Gevaldik, and it was Leibedik. You can imagine. I mean, you go leave here at 4 o'clock on a Friday. You get there 2 hours later. It's, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there? And that's with air conditioning, you know what I'm saying? And that's with, music, and that's with all their gadgets in the car to keep them preoccupied. And it's still a little bit of a, whatever, of a tircha. Can you imagine? You're going into the desert. You have your own little kids nagging, right? And are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there? Are we there? I need to go to the bathroom. I need water. I need a snack, right? Can you imagine? So not only do you have your sets of children, but you take 4 other sets of children with you into the desert. Can you imagine such an unbelievable chesed, says the Ber Yosef? So he says that's pshat. That's what it means that they left armed, first of all, with Ma'is and Tovim as well. He says that's what it means in the Yerushalmi. The Yerushalmi says that they literally left with Ma'is and Tovim. It's true they were on the 49th level of Tumah, but they didn't neglect. And they didn't say, you know what, forget about the kids. Let's leave them here. I got to worry about my own. I got to worry about myself. They actively became part of the process. They actively took the initiative. You have to understand, in Mitzrayim, they were sitting back, they were enjoying the show, right? The Makos, they weren't involved. What'd they do? They were sitting back, they were enjoying the show. The Ramban already tells us, and that's what he says before, and we say in the Haggadah, we literally had nothing. So what did HaKadosh Baruch Hu give us? HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us the 2 dams. V'amar lach b'damai chayi, v'amar lach b'damai chayi. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you ready? HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you're going to live by your what? You're going to live by your blood. What blood? The Dam Milah and the Dam Pesach. We had to become actively involved. We We had to become actively involved. Until now, we were passive. We were watching the show. We were watching HaKadosh Baruch Hu take care of us. We were watching everything. Now HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you guys got to get involved. So we got involved. We got involved in Damila. We got involved in Pesach. And as we were leaving, we got involved. That was simply Ben Adam La Makom, Damila Dam Pesach. We also had to get involved in Adam La Chavero. Such a beautiful, beautiful thing. We had to get involved in Adam La Chavero. And we left Mizuyonim, we left armed. What does it mean, armed? Says the Yerushalmi, it means we left armed with Ma'asim Tovim. What Ma'asim Tovim? We didn't neglect the kids, and we took them into our mishpachas as well, into the desert. And that's what it means 5. Of course, we had 6 at a time. But it means Chamushim Alu B'nei Yisrael Mitzrayim. You know why we were able to leave? Because Chamushim, we didn't forget about the kids, and we took them with us. What a beautiful, unbelievable shot. And the Ber Yosef just goes on, and he says so nicely, we got to stop in 2 seconds. The Ber Yosef says so beautifully, he says, that's what we say in Yirmiyahu. Hanavi says, it's a famous pasuk. It's part of the Rosh Hashanah davening. Ko amar Hashem, zacharti lach chesed ni'u rayich. It's a beautiful song. Avas gelulo sayich. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I remember the chesed of ni'u rayich. What does that mean? I remember the chesed of ni'u rayich of your youth. What chesed of ni'u rayich? So the pasuk goes on and tells us, lech teich acharai b'midbar be'eretz lo zarua. You went after me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says. You had trust in me. You went into the desert. Right? You went into a place where there was no grain, where there was no food, where there was nothing. You had emunah. So, Ko amar Hashem, zacharti lo chesed ni'urayich. I remember the chesed you did, ni'urayich. I remember the chesed that you did in your youth, in your infancy as a nation. But says the Ber Yosef, perhaps al pipshat, Ko amar Hashem, zacharti lo chesed ni'urayich. I remember the chasadim that you did with who? With the youth, with the young. Lech teich acharai b'midbar. You took them with you into the midbar. What an unbelievable chesed. Amazing thing. This idea that it's not enough, and this is what Pesach screams at you, it's not enough to sit back and watch the show. Right? It wasn't enough that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was just doing everything for us. We had to become involved. Damila, Dam Pesach, that was Ben Adam Lamakum, that was between us and the Rebbeinu Shalom. Ben Adam Lachaver as well. Chamushim Al B'nei Yisrael. We had to go ahead and we had to take the kids. And just finally, very quickly, just so you should know, one of the most famous psukim that we're going to say, V'yigadat lebincha b'yom hahu le'mor. Right? The most famous pasuk, Sipur Yitzias Mitzrayim. You're going to tell it over, right? Bavur zeh. Because of this, Asa Hashem li b'tzeisim Mitzrayim. What does it mean, Bavur zeh? So Chazal have a lot to say on the words Bavur zeh, but just look at Rashi. Bavur says Rashi, I heard this from my father, Special Shabbos also. Bavur sha'akayim mitzvosav. Sha'akayim mitzvosav. In the future, I will fulfill your mitzvos. Why did HaKadosh Baruch Hu take us out? Not to be passive, not to sit back and watch. Sha'akayim mitzvosav. Then I'll do your mitzvahs, Pesach, Matzah, Maror. The whole point was to be involved, to be actively involved. That's what got us out of there. The Mussar Haskell is obvious. Not enough to sit back, right? I'm saying, and enjoy the good food and the songs and the yontif. But Pesach has to be a charge for us. It has to scream to us. It has to tell us we have to rearm ourselves. We have to chamushim. We have to rearm ourselves. We have to become armed. The Ma'asim Tovim. We have to go ahead and reinvigorate ourselves and take on new initiatives and become actively involved as they were, right? And Chazal tell us the same way we were redeemed in Nisan, so too, please God, in the future we're going to be redeemed as well. How are we going to be redeemed? So we have to go ahead and follow suit. Well, let's look back. How were they redeemed? They were redeemed by coming involved. They were redeemed by caring about not only Bandam Lamakum, they were redeemed because they cared so much about Benam Lachavero. So too, that's our responsibility as well. Not only to care, of course, about our Benam Lamakum, but to make sure that we reinvest and we take on new initiatives to make sure that we reinforce our Benam Lachavero. Guys, have a wonderful Pesach. Shkoich. Someone better, yes, still live. Someone better stop that. Avi's got it.